Hello, welcome back to the workshop. I'm so pleased to have you here. On today's episode, I'm going to be experimenting a little bit with Canister Damascus. So I've never made Canister Damascus steel before, but my understanding of the principle behind it is you take a powder of your carbon steel, so like a 1080 powder or a 1095 powder or something like that, and you take a tube and you fill up the tube with this powder. Then when you heat it and you forge weld it together, you're able to push out all the gaps and theoretically get a homogeneous block of steel. This means that we could then put extrusions of other pieces of steel inside the tube itself, fill up the air gaps with the carbon powder, and then create a homogeneous section that we wouldn't otherwise be able to do doing normal mosaic Damascus work. So in the US, I know that you can get powdered 1084 steel pretty readily. You can find it at knife maker supply houses and stuff like that. In the UK, there's not quite the proliferation of knife making supply houses, if any, so it's a little more difficult to come by. The alternative that I found was to use shot for grit blasting. Now, you can get a hyper-yuctoid shot for grit blasting, which is, the datasheets say it's between 0.8 and 1% carbon. Now, that's a pretty varying range, but I'll give it a go at least. So this is the smallest grit I could find. I think it was listed as something between 0.4 and 0.7 millimeters in diameter. It's pretty fine, but you can see it doesn't quite look like it's been ground or chipped off. What it looks like instead is that this, in fact, has been kind of almost melted out in little drops. I wonder whether that's an issue. It might mean that there is enough oxidation on this right now that it won't want to fuse to itself and create a homogeneous piece. I got 3 pieces of 15M20. I got the 2 end plates and I got the piece of square tube. I've seen people fill the square tube and the end plates with whiteout, and that stops them sticking to the powder itself. On this one, I'm gonna pass on that. I'm not gonna do it. I just want to see if it works. And I've got a 15M20 there just so I can, for fun, really. That was really interesting. When I look really closely at it after I put 120 grit finish on it, I was able to see just the slightest little tiny bits of inclusions or places where it didn't weld. I really think that's because the grit size is just a little bit large, and it also has that scale on it from where it looks like it's been dribbled out at a molten temperature. But overall, I say that was a pretty good success. That was very exciting to try, and I'm really pleased I did. I think, however, for knives, I wouldn't use this particular material, partly because the data sheet was a little bit dubious as to what the exact carbon percentage was. It was listed as between 0.8 and 1% or so, and also because it just didn't seem to kind of weld perfectly. I think, however, though, for artistic exploration into the world of powder Damascus or Canister Damascus, I call that a good success, and I look forward to playing and experimenting with that a lot more in the future. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you have a cracking day. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow, and I wish you the very best in the workshop. Have a great one.